Hello and welcome. This is James Blanchard, Cisneros, at your service. Today I will be reading the March 15th Facebook post and making a few comments on it, and I trust it will assist both of us on our journeys. Here we go. Consciously choosing forgiveness over judgment. Today let us practice consciously choosing forgiveness over judgment. Today, anytime the ego insists we judge others or ourselves, let us ask ourselves, is this judgment really worth my peace of mind? And so let us use forgiveness as a tool to return to the state of peace. Today, when things seem to be taken away from us, we remember that we are simply recognizing its lack of value in our life. Today, everything that happens to us is helpful. Today, everyone we meet, regardless of their actions or reactions, is gifting us the opportunity to develop into more loving, compassionate, forgiving, and non-judgmental human beings. Because of their participation in our life, we are developing a deeper sense of self, a greater understanding of who in truth we desire to be. Thus today, let us allow gratitude and forgiveness, not judgment, to lead us and become a response to their assistance. Today is going to be a very useful day because we're going to be consciously aware of the effort of trying to choose forgiveness over judgment. Now, judgment is one of the ego's main tools. It actually feeds and fuels the ego and its thought system because it teaches us that we are separate from our brothers and sisters, and so that we can judge other people without hurting ourselves. But the more we use that thought system, the more we see how unreal it is. And so the more we use judgment, the more we see how unreal it is. And let us simply be grateful for that. We have a tendency to judge ourselves for judging other people because we tell ourselves that we're not spiritual enough or wise enough or good enough or merciful enough because we're judging our brothers and sisters. But today, when we choose forgiveness over judgment, what we're really telling ourselves is that we're choosing truth, our truth, over our illusions. Because you see, the ego's thought system is an illusion. Because only love is real. God is love, love is all. Therefore, we are love and only love. And the opposite to all, to love, is not judgment or ego or fear. It's simply nothing. It's an illusion. But we have been programmed to believe in this illusion. We have been programmed to support this illusion. And so we're in the process of deprogramming ourselves through the act of forgiveness. Because forgiveness is simply an extension of love. Just as kindness, compassion, generosity, peace, joy, they're all extensions of love. And so when we align with the truth within us through the tool we call forgiveness, we remember that we are indeed worthy of our truth. We are indeed worthy of peace, of joy. And we do not judge ourselves for judging other people. In fact, all those people and situations that the ego would have once had us judge, we now start to be grateful to them and for them, because they're helping us shine a light into those areas within our minds that we still believe that we are something other than love. And so when we start to judge a brother or sister for X or Y reason, what we're really telling ourselves is that we're not worthy of peace, of joy. Because according to the ego, we're separate from them, but deep down inside, you know you're not separate from them, because whenever you do anything to them, you feel it yourself. And so if you offer judgment to others, you will feel that judgment flowing through you first, and you will carry that burden of judgment throughout the day throughout time. And when you choose to forgive instead of judge, you receive peace. And you are telling yourself that you are worthy of peace. That your illusions are not more worthy of you than your truth. So you're telling yourself that peace is more worthy than judgment. When through forgiveness you choose peace. And so let us be simply grateful today for every opportunity that we have when we are consciously aware of us choosing judgment. And it can come in 1,000 different forms. But you see, because they're all judgments, because they're all the ego's tools, they are all not real. And yes, the ego has programmed us to believe that there's some judgments that are more real than others. That you should judge person X or Y for doing A or B, and you should judge them less for doing C or D. But you see, those are all little games the ego plays with us. It's kind of like a wise old fisherman that just looks for the proper bait. And so if you think that somebody cutting you off is bad, or if it's okay, then you don't judge them that much. If you think somebody lying to you is really, really bad, then that affects you more, and you judge them more for that. But what you're really doing is telling yourself that you're not worthy of peace in that moment, because you're choosing judgment over peace. You're choosing the ego's thought system over God's truth, over our oneness. You're choosing the idea of separation over the idea of oneness. Because you only judge because you think you're separate from your brothers and sisters. You only judge because you believe that your ego's ideas of how the journey should look like are more real than God's plan. And so that's all we're doing. We're just judging God's plan anytime we use judgment on ourselves or others. Every moment is a gift. Every moment is helping you remember that you are worthy of peace. Every moment is actually helping you realize that your journey is sacred. And so let us offer gratitude for every moment. For what else could we offer the moment when it is simply helping us remember that we are indeed worthy of peace. That we are indeed worthy of forgiveness, of joy. When we forgive others, because we're all one, we're silently telling ourselves that we are worthy of forgiveness. When we are choosing peace over judgment towards our brothers or sisters, we are unconsciously telling ourselves that we are worthy of peace, because we are all one. And so when we judge others, we're telling ourselves that we are not worthy of peace. When we forgive others, we're telling ourselves that we are indeed worthy of peace. And we use the tool of forgiveness. We use the tool of forgiveness as long as we need it. We use it until we remember that indeed all judgments are simply illusions. And once you get that, once you start to get that, all these little judgments that you make of yourself or other people are really all illusions. They're all really indeed the same. Yes, the ego has programmed us to see them all differently. That's simply the ego's little fishing technique. Switching those baits on us so that we think we can forgive some things and not forgive other things. But all those are simply illusions of the ego. They're all not real. They are all exactly the same thing, because an illusion is simply an illusion. Just as truth is simply truth. And so the more you realize that all these illusions are really the same, the more you will start to reinforce within you that you are simply peace, that you are joy, that you're compassion and kindness and generosity. That's your truth. But it was only because we bought into those judgments once that we now realize that, and we tried them out many a times, that we now realize that they're not really useful for us. They only burden us. And we have all been burdened long enough. We don't have to play that game anymore. We are all indeed worthy of peace. We have all co-created a perfect journey with God, Source. Our highest self and God's will are one. And so every step of our journey, when we are aligned with the truth within us, we realize that indeed it is perfect. And so we start to offer gratitude to our brothers and sisters for helping us realize that this is so, that every moment is indeed perfect. Because when we release our judgments of them, we are really saying to ourselves, your journey is exactly how you need it to be, to come to the realization that your illusions are illusions and your truth is your truth. And many of us have different paths to that realization. Our brothers and sisters are offering us that opportunity through our interactions with them to see and respect their journey. They're doing what they came here to do in the best way they currently know how. And when you respect that, when you let your judgments go, you receive peace. And the more you do so, the more you realize that, I like peace. And the more you stop to judge other people, because we're all one, the more you will understand that when other people judge you, they're simply judging some illusionary idea within their mind. They're not really judging you, because you are love. You're love and only love. So what can they really judge in you? And so they might be going through the ego's game, and outwardly they might seem to be judging you, but in truth they're simply playing in the ego's illusionary thought system, and they're simply burdening themselves. And all you have to realize is that they're simply playing the ego's game. There's no need to judge them for them judging you. Why? All you want to do is experience peace and joy. And the more you do so, the more you will become a light, an example of this peace, of this joy, of this forgiveness. And little by little, your brothers and sisters will see, I kind of want what he's got or what she's got. I've tried this game long enough. I've burdened myself long enough. Why? Why continue to do that? And so let us simply do that today. Let us consciously choose forgiveness over judgment. And so when we find ourselves judging ourselves or others, no big deal. That's just part of our journey. But let us try and catch ourselves quicker and quicker when we do this. And start asking ourselves, am I worthy of peace? Is this judgment really worth my peace of mind? I have a choice. I have a choice between judgment and joy, judgment and peace. Right now, I have that choice. When you're judging others, judging yourself, catch yourself. And remind yourself, you have that choice between judgment and joy, between judgment and peace. And then choose the one that fits you best in the moment. But feel it. Feel what's really aligned with the truth within you, and then do that. And if you still think you need to judge, then so be it. Judge. Keep on judging. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Just feel what you're doing, and feel what you're carrying, and feel that when you're doing that to quote unquote others, you're doing it to yourself. And the more you do that, the more you realize that it's not worth it. I'm choosing now to align with the truth within me. I'm now choosing to align with peace. And we do that through forgiveness. And we keep using forgiveness until judgment is no longer seen as what we have been programmed to see it as. Once we realize that judgment and all of those ways that the ego paints judgments are illusions, what need do you have for forgiveness? Forgiveness is no longer needed. Once you realize that either people are expressing their truth or expressing the illusion that they perceive in them to be real. So let us be grateful to them for helping us remind ourselves who we truly are, that we are indeed worthy of peace, and that today we choose forgiveness over judgment. Today we choose peace over pain. Today we choose compassion over condemnation, joy over judgment. That's our conscious choice today. And let us be grateful for everyone who's helping us realize this through our physical experience. Thank you very much for your time. I love you very much. If you'd be so kind as to like or comment on the video, that would help with the listing process, and it might help somebody find this video someday. If you'd like to leave me a question or a comment, I would be delighted to try and offer a response. And if you can please subscribe to my YouTube channel, my Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, I would appreciate you being in those communities with me. Thank you very much again for your time. I love you very much, and God willing, we'll see each other tomorrow. Peace.